My name is Alina Harper, and for as long as I can remember, Harper Manufacturing was more than a company. It was our family's legacy. My grandfather, Thomas Harper, founded it in 1958 with nothing but a small workshop in rural Ohio and a dream of building precision tools that American factories could rely on. He started with hand tools, expanded into machinery parts during the boom of the 70s, and by the time I was born in the late 80s, Harper Manufacturing employed over 500 people and supplied components to major automotive and aerospace firms across the country. Grandpa Thomas was the heart of it all. He wasn't just a businessman, he was a mentor, a storyteller, and the kind of man who remembered every employee's name and their kids' birthdays. He raised my father, Richard, to take over one day. But Dad was more interested in the perks than the work. He liked the title of vice president, the company car, the golf memberships expensed to the business. The actual running of the factory, that fell to Grandpa until he retired in his 70s, and then to a series of professional managers he hired. I was different. From the time I was 12, I'd spend summers on the factory floor, learning how to operate the lathes, understanding supply chains, shadowing the engineers. Grandpa saw it in me, the same fire he had. "Elena," he'd say, pulling me aside after a long day, "this company isn't about blood, it's about who will fight for it. Promise me you'll always put the workers and the quality first." I promised. Every summer, every holiday break from college, I was there. I got my engineering degree from Michigan State, top of my class, then an MBA from Northwestern. By 28, I was running operations, turning around declining profits with new efficiency models and innovative product lines. The employees loved me because I listened, fixed broken machines before they caused injuries, fought for better benefits, celebrated milestones with barbecues on the lawn. My aunts and uncles, Dad's siblings, saw me as a threat. Aunt Victoria, the eldest, fancied herself the matriarch. She handled marketing, which mostly meant lavish client dinners on the company dime. Uncle Mark was in sales, golfing with old contacts. Cousin Liam, Victoria's son, was the golden child, spoiled, entitled, with a business degree from a party school and zero real experience. They all drew fat salaries while contributing little. Dad, as chairman, after Grandpa stepped back, enabled it all. Family meetings were tense. They'd whisper about how I was too ambitious for a woman, how I didn't understand tradition. Grandpa watched it all quietly. He was in his late 80s by then, frail but sharp. In 2018, he called me to his bedside in the old family home overlooking the factory. "Alina," he whispered, his hand trembling in mine, "the company, the majority shares, they're yours, not divided among the family like they expect. Because you love it like I do." I was stunned. He owned 62% controlling interest. The rest was split among family trusts. "But Grandpa, they'll fight it." He smiled weakly. "Let them. My lawyer's ironclad. And there's a letter explaining why." He passed away 2 months later, peacefully in his sleep. The funeral was a spectacle. Hundreds of employees showed up, tears in their eyes, sharing stories of how Grandpa had helped them through hard times. My family, though, they were already eyeing the inheritance. Dad patted my shoulder. "Don't worry, sweetie, we'll keep you in operations. Family sticks together." The will reading was a week later, in the conference room at the factory. The family lawyer, Mr. Ellison, a man Grandpa trusted implicitly, cleared his throat and began. Minor bequests first, money to charities, personal items to grandchildren. Then the bombshell. "To my granddaughter, Elena Marie Harper, I bequeath my entire controlling interest in Harper Manufacturing, 62% of shares, along with the position of Chief Executive Officer effective immediately upon my passing." The room exploded. Aunt Victoria shrieked, "This is outrageous! She's not even his direct heir." Uncle Mark slammed the table. "Forgery! We demand a contest!" Dad's face went purple. "Elena, you knew about this? You manipulated an old man?" I sat there, tears streaming, but not from sadness, from vindication. Grandpa's letter was read next, a heartfelt explanation. He'd seen how the family had grown complacent, how they'd nearly run the company into the ground with mismanagement while I single-handedly saved it. "Elena has the vision, the work ethic, and the heart. The others, they have my blood, but not my soul. This company must survive, not be divided and destroyed by greed. They contested it, of course, spent hundreds of thousands on lawyers, dragging it through probate for 18 months. During that time, Dad, still chairman, made my life hell. He sidelined me from decisions, spread rumors that I was unstable, demoted me to special projects. The final straw came in early 2020, just as COVID hit, and the factory was struggling. In a board meeting, stacked with family allies, Dad stood up dramatically. "Elena, your services are no longer required. We're letting you go, effective immediately. Security will escort you out." I was escorted out in front of employees I'd known for decades. Some cried, others looked away in shame. Liam smirked as he took my office the next day. They thought they'd won. The contest was still pending, but they'd frozen my access, cut my pay. The company tanked further under their leadership, delayed orders, lost contracts, layoffs to cover extravagances. But in late 2021, the judge ruled Grandpa's will was airtight, witnessed, notarized, with medical records proving his soundness. No undue influence. The shares transferred to me overnight. I became majority owner and, per the will, CEO. My first day back? I walked into the boardroom unannounced. Dad was chairing, Liam droning about some ill-advised expansion. They froze when I entered, flanked by Mr. Ellison and new security, my security. "Good morning," I said calmly, taking the head seat. "As per Thomas Harper's last will and testament, upheld by the court, I am now CEO and controlling shareholder. This meeting is adjourned." Pandemonium. Dad bellowed, "You can't just—" I slid the court order across the table. "Actually, I can, and I am." Over the next few weeks, I cleaned house. Aunt Victoria, terminated for embezzlement. I'd quietly gathered evidence during my exile. Uncle Mark, fired for falsifying sales reports. Liam, gone by lunch. His contributions were laughable. Dad fought hardest, claiming family loyalty. I reminded him of the day he had me escorted out. Loyalty goes both ways. I didn't destroy them completely. Grandpa wouldn't have wanted that. They kept minority shares, enough for dividends if the company succeeded, but no voting power, no board seats. I restructured, brought back laid-off workers, invested in modernization, honored Grandpa's values with profit sharing and community programs. Today, Harper Manufacturing is thriving. Record profits, new contracts, expansions. Employees call it the Renaissance. I visit Grandpa's grave often, updating him. The factory hums like it did in his day. My family? They don't speak to me much. Dad mutters about betrayal. Victoria sells real estate now. Liam works retail, last I heard. Sometimes blood isn't thicker than integrity. Grandpa knew that, and in the end, his will made sure the company and I got justice. The moral: never underestimate the quiet one who truly loves what you take for granted, and always respect a founder's final wish.